Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. Started a little early here. We got some early afternoon or evening traffic here, so I wanted to start just a little bit early. Got here early, so figured might as well. Looks like we got a couple of Southwest arrivals here to start the show. First one's going to be Southwest 1544 coming in from Tampa. It's going to be on a max 8. So hopefully everybody had a wonderful weekend this past weekend. Hopefully everybody was doing fun things over the weekend. Celebrated the anniversary out there at the air show over the weekend. So it was a pretty good weekend, if I do say so myself. Got another Southwest arriving here in just a few minutes. So if you guys noticed, Air France isn't where it's supposed to be. And neither is London, by the way. The 777 for London, hiding over there behind the trees. We'll get into that as we start the show. Hopefully you guys can hear ATC okay. It's a little low sounding on my end. It is turned down a little bit. So turn ATC up just a smidgen. There we go. So that second Southwest Max 8 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. That's Southwest at 1413. Again, another Max. The one in front of it was the one from Tampa. And it looks like we've got another Southwest on the move. Let's see where this one's headed. So we got Southwest at 446. This one's going to turn around and go to Baltimore. This one a Max as well. So Southwest attacking us with their Maxes. I think this is the one. This was one of the ones waiting for a gate. I think it's waiting on the Baltimore flight to get a move on. Baltimore still sitting there at Terminal 2. Oh no, that one came in from Baltimore. Nashville's already fallen off, so we had 3 come in. So that one coming in from BWE as opposed to leaving to BWE. Alan Lee, thank you. Good evening. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. And good evening to you as well. All right, so it is officially 6 o'clock. Welcome to the show, everybody. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. So if you guys were here a moment ago, you saw that Air France is not on the correct gate. They are over here on a C-24. And the 777 to London, well, it's broken. And it's sitting over in front of the observation deck. So if you're in the area here local, want to get those pictures of the 777, go down to the observation deck tonight and get those photos, or this evening. And we've got a special American 737 getting ready to leave here momentarily. Let's see the tail of our American Airlines Chrome livery. This one getting ready to get a move on as well. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Endeavor 5322 coming in from Washington, D.C. via Ronald Reagan. It's going to be on a CRJ 900LR. I know Miss Ramona was waiting for this special livery. She's the one that alerted me that it would be here today. Looks like American held up their end of the bargain, and it brought the old school American Chrome livery. go. They're going to make this left turn. You get a really good shot of that livery. Yeah, Brian, the weather's actually perfect out here. I was a little worried about rain right before I started the show because it didn't look too good on the radar, but it was showing rain over top of us and it wasn't doing anything, so I was like, I should be safe enough to set up and go on about my business this evening. Doesn't look like there's any rain behind it, so we should be good for the evening. And hopefully we don't have a runway closure. I don't think we're supposed to tonight. I did send out a message and receive some information for tonight. So hopefully no runway closures this evening like we had last Wednesday, which was a real bummer. On our special American to get a move on. This one here waiting for a gate. Oh, it's already going to get a move on. Looks like American going to do a little bit of a turn and burn. Go, our American Special Retro. Doing all right, Josh. Doing all right. There we go, finally changing of the Southwest there. One headed out, that one that was parked headed to the gate. We'll find out where American's headed in just a moment. Southwest that we're looking at right here, this one's headed to Dallas. This is Southwest 2301. Headed to Dallas, Fort Worth. American Airlines 2756. That one's headed to Miami, our retro livery. Looks like we got an American A321 on the move. This one's going to head down to Charlotte. So if you guys are just joining us, we do have another, it's not on flight radar, but we're supposed to have another 777 later in the show, an American 777, to come and take the London passengers. Apparently the one that flew in this afternoon is broken. As you guys might have noticed, you can see the tail over there. Takeoff for American to Charlotte. So yeah, if you're just joining us, the American 777 hanging out over there in front of the observation deck. Air France on gate C24 because they couldn't get it moved in time for this one to get here. Leads me to wonder why they make the American 777 tow over to the D gates every time they or make American tow over to the D gates every day, I should say, since they can use this gate. But I do know that they have other planes and such that they've got on that gate. Most of the time it sits there empty though. And we do have Iceland a little later on tonight as well. That departure will probably be our last departure if we don't decide to stay for the MD-11. That depends on how many of you guys are watching, whether we stay for that or not. And actually how busy the airport is. So Alpha Blue, there's nothing wrong with the Air France 777, but it is in the wrong spot. It's not normally on C24. Normally it's on C23 on the other side. It was the American 777 that had the issues today. Broken down. I'm going to stay here overnight. Wish I would have been out here Friday for the Air France arrival. Apparently Air France came in with a flat tire. A friend of mine who works here at the airport was asking if I was out here Friday afternoon. So Air France did come in with a blown tire Friday. Speaking of Air France, beacons on. So that means we're about to have our 777 push. Josh, I don't know where the 777's coming from. I was trying to look earlier on flight radar to see if it was already in the air. Chances are it probably won't be till about 8 o'clock before it leaves, if I had to guess. That's usually the way it goes. So I am trying to keep a decent eye on flight radar for that 777 later. But right now it looks like we've got a 767 from FedEx. FedEx 785 coming in from Memphis, Tennessee, arriving in 3 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh, I missed the Star Alliance livery too, the A340. Hopefully they'll bring the A340 back some more, but again, it's not like we really see the see Lufthansa that often. Don't typically come out here on Saturdays. I I did see, though, on Flight Radar that the Air Canada A220 headed to Toronto, where Montreal had left, about 30 minutes before I got here. No, headed to Toronto. So that's good that they've upped the aircraft size there for the Toronto flight. Iceland from Reykjavik is an hour and 18 minutes. Looks like it's going to be the pink tail tonight. Yeah, it'd be good to see the A340 more often. I'd come out here on a Saturday to catch that. Speaking of an A350, we had an A350 here the other day. I think it was Thursday. It was an A350. One day last week due to weather there in Charlotte. Are they starting engines right there? Oh no, that's that. We've got an E175 down there starting engines. You can just see the top of the tail there for that E175. FedEx on final in that 767. Came in due to the weather there in Charlotte one day last week. There's FedEx. A little 2-for-1 shot there. FedEx roaring in here. Sounding wonderful as always. As we have the Air France 777 pushback. Looks like we're going to get busy here for the next couple of minutes. Next on finals, American 1888 coming in from Dallas-Fort Worth. This is a 737-800, followed by Southwest and United both racing in. Southwest 1388 coming in from Houston. And in parallel, we do have that United, which is coming in from Newark, New Jersey. United 1850 coming in on a MAX 9. So those two coming in side by side. As we got a Delta getting out of here. So FedEx ain't messing around either. FedEx in a hurry. And that 767. See American 1888 here in just a moment. We'll pick that one up. And then the United Max and of course Southwest coming in. Who's going to touch down first? Will it be Southwest or will it be United? As we watch the Air France make its way over. Yeah, I can give you that runway progress. It doesn't look like they've done a whole lot. I'm sure there's a whole lot that has been done, but it definitely doesn't look like they've done a whole lot to the new runway. All right, let's go for Southwest.
Hey, Raleigh Tower, got 7 miles south. We'd like to see investment.
Here's our Southwest coming in, and Max. Here comes our Max 9 United from Newark. Enjoy the 777. And we got Alaska on the move as well, getting ready to head down here for departure back to Seattle. Thank you, Eagle, for that update on that replacement 777 coming in in just a little while. So thank you for that. So if you guys are just joining us, the American 777 scheduled to go to London is broken. make sure if you guys are just stopping in for the Air France departure, please smash the like button on your way out after that departure. That helps us out quite a bit. So Delta that Delta's coming in from Minneapolis. That's Delta 2699. Got another arrival here in just a moment, but it looks like Air France is about to get a move on. Our next arrival is going to be PSA coming in from Washington, D.C. on a CRJ 900 today.
Right, American 1904.
I did, Daniel. I really enjoyed the air show. Had a great time as always. It did rain on us there with the as soon as the Thunderbirds went up, it started raining pretty good. The only time it rained all day, really. So we went on Sunday. Had an absolute blast. I didn't take the camera. I didn't take anything like that. I didn't want to risk it. I knew it was supposed to rain, so I didn't even try this year for any kind of content from the air show, given the weather situation. But was an amazing show. There was hardly anybody there when we got there, so we got front row seats to the whole thing. It was spectacular.
Bravo to the final and like 23 right.
Yeah, I saw. So there's some younger folks that come up here and hang out every Sunday on the parking garage. I ended up seeing them out there. It was actually quite funny. We're both like, "Hey, I recognize you." So it was pretty good. All right, looks like we got Alaska up next for departure. Alaska headed back to Seattle. So that American A321, that was American Airlines in 1904, coming in from Charlotte on that A321. There's our American 777 tail over there. Again, it broke sometime today. We're going to ferry in another 777 a little later on in the show. Probably be here around 7:20 or so. From the information I was given. They didn't, so if you were at the air show, you know. So last year we went to the one at Cherry Point, and their tactical show was way better at Cherry Point than it was at this one over at Seymour Johnson. They didn't put any troops on the ground, and you know, when we went last year, they flew in big helicopters and this, that, and the other, put troops on the ground. It was a great show. My only complaint was that about the air show. Other than that, the air show was fantastic. They did have a C-17 demonstration listed on the list of things that were happening, and they didn't do it. From what I understand, they didn't do the C-17 either day, either Saturday or Sunday. It was a fantastic show. The Thunderbirds were great. But I do feel like last year's show was just a little bit better. Make sure, again, if you guys are just here to check out Air France's departure, make sure you guys leave a like. Seems like that's been a trend the last few episodes of the show. So make sure you guys smash the like button on your way out. So that's kind of what I figured happened with the C-17 at the show. Mechanical issues or something like that, because a friend of mine at work went, and he said no, they didn't do the C-17 thing either. Delta 2782 from Boston is going to be our next arrival on an A220 100. I liked how they incorporated the cars into it too. You know, if you guys were there, they had that McLaren, the Corvette, the Porsche, and the Lamborghini out there. you could hear them rocketing down the runway or down the taxiway, whichever one they were using. Thought that was kind of cool. They didn't do that at the Cherry Point show. Looks like our next arrival is going to be a United 1322 coming in from Washington Dulles. This one an A319-100. That's going to be that next arrival there. About 48 minutes of flight time for this one. So David, I don't know what is wrong with the 777. I just got word that it broke down and that they'll be flying in a ferry a little later on this evening from Charlotte. So they can still continue that flight this evening. It'll just be really, really late. United from Dulles. And we shouldn't have a runway closure either. I think the 777 is going to keep the runway open, being that they're going to fly in another one. I don't know that it was actually scheduled. I did send out a text message to a friend of ours to find out if we were going to have a runway closure. He said he didn't think so. So fingers crossed. Because if you guys remember last Wednesday, they did close the runway for whatever they were doing, clearing rubber. I assume that's what they were up to. Hey, Carolyn Crowder. Good evening. Again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. You guys just had Air France departure. See who we got coming in next. And Flight Radar's acting all kinds of crazy here. It has that United flying back to DC. Looks like our next arrival is going to be American Airlines 533 coming in from Chicago O'Hare. Arriving in 1 minute. 1 hour and 28 minutes of flight time for that 737-800. Yeah, so that A319, so if you guys are following along on Flight Radar, they put that A319 like where this American's coming in now. So it touched down and then it jumped all the way back out like it was on a 5-mile final, but headed the opposite way like it took off. Anyway, Flight Radar's been kind of funny the last couple of episodes of the show, unfortunately. Oh no, that's not the news. I hear a helicopter. Both of the news choppers came in a little while ago. going to be a medical. Going to fly over our head directly. Looks like we've got an American Eagle on pushback. We've got United. Looks like it's on the way out, possibly, or is it coming over here to this gate? No, looks like it's headed out. As you can see, American Eagle pushing back there. And so again, we've got to be watching out for that 777 coming in from Charlotte. Somebody said the expected departure time is 6:42 out of Charlotte. Looks like we got Sun Country coming in a little while, about 30 minutes or so, in the Tide Pod livery. Coming in from Charleston, West Virginia maybe? There goes United on the move. Here's American from Chicago. And Frontier on the move. Thought we were going to get a close-up. Good shot of it. Must have taxied out in a hurry. It is behind that United that's on its way out. Let's see who our next arrival is going to be. Looks like we've got NetJets, I believe. NetJets coming in from Washington Dulles. Arriving in 1 minute. That's going to land over here on 23 left. 23 right, excuse me. Again, here's NetJets from Washington, D.C., coming in from Dulles. as they wait for that American A321, I'm sure that's headed back to Charlotte. I think the only flight we have, I think right now, is Charlotte using the A321s, if I'm not mistaken. All the other American flights are using the 737s right now. All of the hub flights, anyway. This came from the 777 over there. I assume grabbing some stuff off of that, like the food and stuff off that 777. We've got United on the move in the 737. Ambulance. I don't think we've gone an episode of the show in a while where we haven't seen the ambulance make its way out here. So we got that American Eagle on its way out, as well as that A321. Let's take a look here at flight radar. Again, Frontier is still sitting out there. United is headed to San Francisco. That was United 1769. 737 MAX 8 headed to SFO. Frontier is Frontier 2225, headed to Denver, Colorado. That is Wiley the Bison livery out there in the distance, ready for their getting ready for their departure back to Denver, Colorado. Followed by that A321 from American Airlines. Where are you going? It says unavailable, but I'd be willing to put money that it is our Charlotte flight. And of course there's that American Eagle out there as well. So let's take a look at flight radar. Let's see where Iceland's at. Iceland's going to be our next big quote-unquote arrival. Iceland looks like they're just now over New York and headed into Pennsylvania. They'll be arriving in 44 minutes. Again, that's going to be another MAX 9. So we have one United MAX 9 here on the ground already. Saw that one land a little while ago. Gonna have United, or have Iceland in that. Another MAX. Looks like that American Eagle's going to go first. So American Eagle is Republic Airways 4742. That's headed back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in that E175 LR. So I was looking through flight radar to see if we can see our 777 arrival for later. Wind's trying to pick up a little bit. No storms in the area, luckily. It's a very nice, cool evening here. Nice early rotation for Republic Airways. And this one headed back to Pittsburgh. So we got a Delta on the move, ready for departure. Wiley the Bison looks like he's ready, but not at the same time. Got a Southwest on the move as well. Let's see, where are you going, Southwest? Southwest 1788 headed to St. Louis. Another Max 8. Lots of Maxes today, it looks like. Interesting. Southwest is going to come down the hill and go for departure on 23 right. We also have that Delta 737 on the move. Pick Southwest up here, just beyond the trees. And another Delta on the way out. Looks like Wiley the Bison finally about to hit the runway here for departure back to Denver, Colorado. rotation for Frontier this evening. Odd that we have a Southwest over here on this side. Again, that one's going to go to St. Louis. Let's see where one of our Deltas is going. Got an A320 Delta 2600 headed to Atlanta. That A320 212. So now I want to know where the 737 is headed. Is that headed to Minneapolis, or is that our LAX flight? And I just heard an A220. So we'll find out here in just a minute where this one's going. It's not up on flight radar. That 737 rolling out to the runway. That one's still not up on flight radar. I'll give you that information in just a minute. It is weird that we've got an A320 headed to Atlanta. Normally it's a little bit bigger planes like this 737. So that one is at Delta 1409. That's headed to Salt Lake City. Forgot about Salt Lake City.
Tower to the radio, box dropped off, entering a right base.
So this is the A321 or A320 headed to Atlanta. Got another Southwest Max on the move over here behind us. I wonder if this one will come down the hill as well and go to 23 right. Doesn't look like it's going to. Oh, nope, it is. So everybody from Terminal 1 so far is departing 23 right for whatever reason. Thank you, Molly, for your membership milestone. I'll get that up on the screen in just a moment. Molly, a member for 17 months. Working on that 2-year badge. Next arrival is going to be Delta 1097 coming in from Atlanta. This one another 737-9. That one's going to be our next arrival. So out with the Deltas, in with another Delta. There you go, get Molly's message up on the screen. Got another one from Nelia, another membership milestone. Thank you, Nelia. I'm a dear woman spotter. So thank you guys for being members for so long. Really appreciate you guys showing support and hanging out and hanging in through some of the things that we've dealt with here on this channel. Again, this Delta coming from Atlanta, another 737-9.
Visual change right.
Speaking of Delta, there's a little double Delta action there. Looks like we got Southwest on the move already, that Max 8. That one headed to St. Louis. Dang, are we going to get an early rotation from the Max? Looks like it. Thank you, Southwest. So we had one FedEx already. We had Air France departure. We've got an American 777 coming at some point this afternoon or this evening to replace the one there in your screen. The London 777 scheduled for tonight is broken, as you can see. It's over in front of the observation deck. So at some point this evening we will have another 777 arrival. We have the MD-11 departure later tonight if we decide to stay. Dang, Southwest doing it right. Lifting off early. Those have been the two best departures this evening. So that second Southwest, it's not on flight radar yet. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Republic Airways 4497 coming in from LaGuardia. 1 hour and 10 minutes of flight time for the E175. You guys can hear the E175 starting up just below us here. That's going to be followed by So that second Southwest that departed a moment ago, that is headed to Chicago Midway. That is Southwest 2667. It finally decided to pop up on flight radar. Next arrival is going to be Delta 2992 coming in from Miami. This one an A319. Speaking of A319s, looks like we got one trying to get out of here. So they closed. That's That's the deal. So they closed at 2-3 left. So everything's going to be coming in and out 2-3 right tonight. Good. At least they didn't close this runway. So there you go. Everything is going to be pushed over here to 2-3 right tonight. So there's our A319 from Miami. Looks like we got another Delta departure. That A319 made its way down there quickly. Thank you, Eagle. Eagle giving us that information. The replacement 777 pushing back there in Charlotte. So should be here in about 35-40 minutes, depending on how long it takes them to taxi out. Alright, so let's go over here to the other side. 2-3 left, you heard me mention 2-3 left is closed. There it is, the big light X. So everything, that means everything's going to be approaching us on 2-3 right tonight, which is good. Way better than the other night when everybody was on 2-3 left last Wednesday. So that Delta A319, or A320, that's headed to Detroit, Delta 1407. Looks like our next arrival is going to be another NetJets coming in from Auburn. 1 hour and 5 minutes of flight time for the Embraer Phenom 300. Touching down now. That's going to be followed by Sun Country in that Tide Pod livery. That'll be our next arrival. So NetJets coming off the runway there. As we got another A319 or A320 here, I should say, about to depart for Delta. This one here will be followed by Sun Country. Another nice looking departure, great sounding departure as well. Really good at sounding A319 there. That one's headed to, let's see. That one's Delta 1275 headed to Tampa, Florida. And it is an A319. As we check out Sun Country's arrival here with the Tide Pod 737. Coming in from West Virginia, I believe.
Delta 1275, in a few hours.
Sounds like that pilot there for Delta 1279 is going to be back here in a couple hours. I don't know if you guys heard that on the ATC. So hopefully when things get busy, it gets busy. Being down to one runway tonight should make things very interesting. Already got one ready to go on the move. Looks like an American Eagle. I'm going to stay with Sun Country for a minute. We don't see too much of Sun Country. It seems like we're getting to see it a little more often, at least once an episode lately, as they get into their summer schedule. Here's our American Eagle E175. Speaking of American Eagle, we've got Republic Airways 4596 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee on another E175 LR. So we get one more good look at Sun Country cutting through the trees. Go over here to our arrival of Republic. So if you guys are just joining us, we do have another 777 on the way in to replace the broken American 777 that was supposed to go to London Heathrow. have no idea what they're doing. Oh, I guess they're gonna switch to the other taxiway right there. Looks like we got an American A321 on the move. This one more than likely headed back to Charlotte. About a 28-minute flight. Not sure what Sun Country's waiting on. I don't know if there's like airport vehicles that they're worried about or what the deal is with them. Or actually looks like they might be headed over to General Aviation. Quick moving exec jet. Little Honda jet, looks like. So Sun Country goes over to General Aviation side. Southwest about to come down the hill to depart here momentarily. See Southwest here. This Southwest is Southwest 1697 headed to Denver, Colorado. And that is another MAX 8. Oh, Sun Country's done turned around again. Looks like our next arrival is going to be American Airlines 1426 coming in from Miami, Florida. 1 hour and 41 minutes of flight time for this 737-800. Arriving in just 2 minutes. Looks like we've got a CRJ at the end of the runway ready to go. As this one waits for the PSA CRJ to get a move on. That's what you guys are hearing. Start up down here just to the on the left of your screen. I was looking for the replacement 777 there on flight radar. I don't see it currently. So, I wonder where that one's headed. Bet it's headed to New York. There's our next arrival, American from Miami. On that final. Delta is headed to Miami. That's Endeavor 5219 headed to JFK. So I didn't set a goal for likes today, but make sure if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do so. I would at least like to make it to 150 likes tonight. So if you haven't done so, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're inching ever closer to our 5,000 goal. Or 5,000 subscriber mark, I should say. About to roll 4,940 if we haven't already today in this episode of the show. And again, that one coming in from Miami. Looks like our next departure is going to be that Southwest Max 8 headed to Denver, Colorado. It's got a Pilatus PC-24 on final, private owner. That one coming in from Orlando. So that'll be our next arrival. Well, this Southwest isn't going to depart as early as the other ones did. Still a pretty nice departure there. Safe travels to this one back to Denver. Again, we got that Pilatus PC-24 on final. Again, this one's a private owner. This one coming in from Orlando, Florida. This is why we don't shoot some of the smaller planes. The camera struggles for focus with some of these smaller guys. Thank you, ERB. Yeah, it's turning out to be a nice sunset. Looks like everything's going to come out of all right, it looks like. We had a lot of cloud cover here. We still do. Might actually be able to give you guys some sunset action here in just a little while. Thank you, Kip. Greatly appreciate that. Does anybody know if that 777 from Charlotte's left yet? I don't have it on my flight radar. When we're doing the show, flight radar set to RDU, our home base. Southwest coming down the hill, looks like another Max 8 possibly. There were a lot of Maxes here a moment ago for Southwest. Now it looks like they're all trying to get out of here. It looks like it.
Continue, 23 right, 1645.
That is a max. There's our Pilatus. PC-24. Thank you, Eagle, for the information. Thank you for keeping me up to date on that. So again, if you guys are just joining us, we do have a runway closure. 23 left is closed tonight. So that means everybody's coming in and out over here on 23 right. Next arrival is going to be American Airlines 1645 coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina. 29 minutes of flight time for another A321. So we check out the PC-24 crossing the taxiways there. Headed up the hill to General Aviation. There's American 1645 from Charlotte. So if that 777 is lined up and waiting in Charlotte, that means we're about 30 minutes or so away from that arrival. Again, if you're just joining us too, they sending out another 777 to replace the one that's supposed to go to London today. So if you guys are local and have time tonight or in the morning to come out here to check the 777, it is sitting in front of the observation deck.
Good evening, Zeus 21, just outside of Echo South, Quebec, landing. Zeus 21, I am. Flash Zeus 21.
You know what we haven't done yet for the month? You know, I normally do this on Sundays, but there is a good chance we won't be here this Sunday. I'm going to try to make it up either Saturday or possibly Monday. Being that it is Mother's Day weekend, I think we're going to go ahead and
310 over to departure.
Go ahead and gift out our memberships, if it'll let me. No, that's not what I want to do.
We're going to bug out to the east, let him take 3-2, and then we'll come in behind him.
Well, it's not allowing me to gift any memberships at the moment. Weird. Hold on. Bear with me here a second. I'm going to try to fix this chat and see if it'll allow me to send you guys 10 memberships, but it's not going to let me for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and gift out those 5 Carolina Aviation memberships today. Normally we do that on Sunday, so thank you guys for hanging in there, hanging out with us today. Greatly appreciate you guys as always. Since I've had to do this with the little bit of a run around here, I apologize, it's taking a minute. Thank you, Paul, for joining economy class. Oops, as I keep clicking the wrong buttons here. So thank you, Paul L, for joining economy class. And congratulations to those of you who received one of those memberships from me. Again, normally we do that on Sunday, but with the schedule this week, I don't know that that'll be an option. So we got a Piper Archer TX on final. That's Flight Guest Academy. That's going to be followed by Delta 689 coming in from Los Angeles, California. Let's see. 4 hours and 15 minutes of flight time for this 737-900. We also have the FedEx ATR on final, and Iceland as well also on final. The 777 has departed Charlotte, left 5 minutes ago, arriving now in just 22 minutes. Again, our next arrival is Delta 689 coming in from Los Angeles, California. That's going to be followed by our FedEx ATR from Wilmington. Got a couple of little ones out here doing their thing. From Los Angeles. Where are all of my prop fans at tonight? Vincent, Mattman. About to have that FedEx ATR over here for them. Again, that's operated by Mountain Air Cargo. That's also going to be followed by Iceland from Reykjavik. So Mountain Air Cargo 7503. It's an ATR 72-600, 30 minutes of flight time from New Bern, not Wilmington. Wilmington is the later flight tonight.
Clear land 32, November 36395. Over to departure, no problem, 490 runway.
So again, if you're just joining us, we do only have one runway. 23 left is closed tonight. We do have another 777 on the way, arriving in just 20 minutes or so, coming in from Charlotte. Virtual, not necessarily. I think it might help your chances, but I don't know that you have to be in chat. I do see people that I've never seen in chat on the list all the time, so. But I do believe you have to be subscribed, of course. And if you're able to chat, you should be subscribed to the channel. Dang, the ATR is not going to go long on us tonight, like they normally do. Normally they come a little bit closer than this. A little disappointed in you, FedEx. Trying to get off the runway and get out of the way. We do have Southwest up for departure now. Again, the runway is going to be really busy with the runway closure of 23 left. Yo, Pip in the house. Southwest is killing these departures. Why can't everybody else take off like Southwest? Southwest is nailing it tonight. Southwest, I need you to stay on 23 right all the time. You guys are departing fantastic. Alright, so Iceland, our next arrival. Again, this one coming in from Reykjavik. In that pink tail tonight. This is a 737 MAX 9. Thank you, Zoe. Have a good evening. Ah, is it One World? Is our 777 the One World livery? Hold on. Let me look at that. It is. So, thank you, American Airlines, sending us the One World livery. And if you guys are just joining us as well, we had the American Airlines retro chrome livery shortly after we started the show.
Good night, Southwest 1543 with you.
So here we go, this American A321, I'm sure headed back to Charlotte. Good sounding departure for that one. Let's see. Let's take a look. So Southwest that we saw departing a moment ago, that is Southwest 1543 headed to Nashville, Tennessee. This one here headed to Charlotte, American Airlines 1479. Looks like our next arrival is going to be Endeavor 5232. Coming in from LaGuardia on a CRJ 900, touching down there.
Clear to land, 32, I've got the traffic on final on site, to the mouth.
Looks like we got another Delta out there at the end of the runway. We're waiting for Iceland. Disappointment. Iceland disappointing me tonight. Iceland going to the front side of Terminal 2, unfortunately. Not going to come around here to their normal gate on the corner, unfortunately. Dang it. That's a little bit disappointing. Alright, so next up is going to be Delta. Let's see where they're headed here after they depart. Looks like an A320. Find out where that one's going in just a minute. So you'll be able to see right here the top of Iceland's tail. Disappointing we won't have that one over here, unfortunately. Delta 2546 headed to Minneapolis in that A320-200. So let's go right here while I check out flight radar, see what's coming here in the next few minutes. Again, that American 777 from Charlotte arriving now in just 15 minutes, and that is the One World livery. They changed it. So earlier in the day we had Air Canada in the A220. Unfortunately, they changed it for the evening flight, so it's going to be an E175 SU, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to possibly getting the Air Canada A220 on the show this evening, but it looks like they've changed it. So not so good news for that one.
Sub 2546, good day.
I've got to make a quick adjustment here. Looks like our second and last FedEx ATR did leave Wilmington about 10 minutes ago. FedEx, this will be Mountain Air Cargo 7508. This is an ATR 42-300, so the much older and smaller ATR for the evening. Speaking of small, where'd he go? There he is. Good, we actually get to catch some of the general aviation stuff when they're over here. This arrival. See more of it as it gets out of the trees here in just a moment. Can't tell if those are lawnmowers or some other pieces of equipment. So our 777 is just south of the airport now. Should be able to see it. Yeah. Looking through the back window of my car here, the 777. Getting closer. Looks like we got an American Airlines up on a flight radar, ready for departure. American 1888, ready to head back to Dallas. That is a 737-800. As I keep an eye out for our triple. That 777 traveling at 8,700 feet. And that will be the One World livery. There's another one over here I want to look at. Another exec jet. This all gray one. That looks like an Embraer 1 or 200. Ooh, favorite livery. Man, I have so many. I have so many liveries. Like, are you talking about just airline liveries, or are we talking special liveries? Air Baltic has to be one of my favorite ones. It is simple, but the colors are really nice on Air Baltic. There goes American 1888. That one getting ready to head back to Dallas, like we said a moment ago. As far as the regular liveries go, Air Baltic is one that I really like. I like JetBlue's new livery. That's one of my favorite ones. There's the 777. Sun Country, I like that one too. The Tide Pod, the one we saw earlier here on the show. That's another one that I really like to see here on the show. That's why we give Sun Country a little extra love there, because I do really like that livery. Alright, can we see her? Let's see if we can do this. I've gone too far. Coming in fresh from Charlotte. There's our 777 One World for American Airlines. As far as retro liveries go, I do like the PSA livery is one of my favorite ones. So Lee, it is a ferry flight coming in from Charlotte, and that is the One World livery, because the one that flew in today from London Heathrow is sitting over here, broken. It's about that time of the year where it's over there more than it's in the air. American Airlines, if you're watching, I kid. It's just a joke. But we do see it over there quite a bit. Yeah, I really like a lot of the retro liveries. I like all of Southwest's special liveries, all of the 1 series. I think they need to hurry up and come out with all 50 states for their 1 series, but that's just my opinion. So here we go, American 1888 headed to Dallas-Fort Worth. We've got an American Eagle E175 starting up just below us. Here, I'm gonna make a little noise. Yeah, it is. It seemed like it was here a lot last year. If you guys remember, if you guys have been watching the show that long, it really does feel like the American 777 sat over there a lot. So again, this one to Dallas is 737-800. Again, there's the American Eagle just below us starting up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we won't have anyone below us starting engines or doing anything when the 777 arrives, so we can turn up the volume a little bit for you guys so you guys can enjoy that. Looks like we got an exec jet possibly on the runway. Dude leaving like a rocket. All right, so let's see. Hurry up and move on there, American Eagle. So American finally making that right hand turn, finishing that up to be on base. So that's American Airlines 9787. Again, that is a ferry flight for the 777 tonight. This flight is empty. While we wait, if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please make sure you do so as we await the arrival of this 777. Again, I didn't set a like goal tonight, but it would still be nice to make it to 150. There she is, American One World 777, arriving as a ferry flight tonight. Got a United A319 on the way out. Jeff Davis. Ferry or ferry? Thank goodness there are no other planes around. No noise, so we can enjoy this arrival. Just like with Air France, if you guys are just here for this 777 arrival, please make sure you leave a like. Again, that seems to be the trend lately. Noticing when our big planes are here, we spike in viewers. So please make sure you smash the like button on your way back out. Alright, so let's go over who all was leaving. That exec jet was fly executive, or exclusive, excuse me. Cessna Citation, that's headed to Roanoke. We've got Republic Airways of 4497, that was that E175. That one still says NA. United, that's headed to Washington Dulles. That's United 689. And that was an A319-100. We have a very unique looking jet coming in here in just a minute. It's going to be SkyQuest coming in from Lexington. 47 minutes of flight time. It's going to be a Hawker Beechcraft. 400 XP. Looks like it has a very unique paint job on board. Next arrival, though, is going to be Endeavor 5150 coming in from JFK. 1 hour and 8 minutes of flight time for this CRJ. And it looks like we got our Delta A220 on the move back to Boston. There's our CRJ from JFK. There's that A220. It's getting ready to head back to Boston here in just a few moments. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we are down a runway. By the way, 23 left is closed tonight, so everything is in and out on 23 right. So we got a FedEx ATR coming in here in just a moment. That one coming in from Wilmington. Mountain Air Cargo 7508. This one, the smaller of the two ATRs. That's going to be followed by that unique one from Lexington, SkyQuest. This looks like an interesting livery. Black, white, and red possibly, or black, white, and orange. Where is that truck I'm hearing? So the FedEx ATR on final.
Raleigh Tower 996 Foxtrot Dolphin. 326 land 996 Foxtrot Dolphin. Raleigh Tower 996. Just to confirm our taxi 636, I'm clear to land west. Okay, 636, take on down, 23 left for them.
Oh no, this isn't our ATR. Sorry, I was reading the chat and trying to follow along with this off to the side. So some of these aren't on, but I believe this is another, I believe this is a Cessna Grand Caravan coming in for UPS. FedEx will be our next arrival. Most of these tend to come in on 3-2 over here. We did have a couple do that already. Not sure why this one chose to come in on 2-3 right. As all of our cargo planes make their way in. We did have that FedEx 767 earlier in the show. Do have that MD-11 departure at 9:15. Almost less than an hour away. A little more than an hour away. Looks like our numbers seem to be good enough. We'll attempt to stay for the MD-11 departure. Should be an awesome departure, hopefully. Again, that's in about an hour or so. Not sure when the American 777 is going to depart. Unless it's in the next hour and a half or so. Definitely not going to stay for that. Again, it is the One World livery. Ready for this next one. Hopefully it doesn't do the same thing as the ATR and cut out early. Hopefully it'll come on down here and go up the hill to the general aviation side. So there's ATR number 2 out of 2. Again, this one coming in from Wilmington, North Carolina. Here goes our A220 100 back to Boston, Massachusetts. So here comes our SkyQuest. A little exec jet here. Hopefully it'll make its way all the way down here. So we can get a good close-up of it. It looks unique according to Flight Radar. The only advice I have on that is just posting, scheduling posts, being consistent with posts, Josh. That's the only way we've gained more subs, being here at the same time every day, every couple of days, keeping on a routine schedule, same time, same days. Other than that, really don't know. I wish I had the key to that.
Have a great night, Delta 23.
Probably would look a lot better if it wasn't so dark. Looks like our next arrival is going to be another American Airlines 737. I'll give you that flight info here in just a moment. Can hear a little bit of brake squeal from that one. That's already gone off flight radar. Our next arrival is going to be Air Canada Jazz 838 coming in from Toronto. 1 hour and 26 minutes of flight time for that one. Again, this American Airlines is already off flight radar. They're doing some weird stuff. If you're following along on flight radar, Air Canada making some weird moves just west of the airport as it approached. Really wish this was the A220. Too bad we weren't here earlier in the day to catch the A220. Molly gifting 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Thank you so much, Molly. This Carolina Aviation celebrating a membership. So thank you to the two of you. Just in time, John Southwell, just in time. Mattman with 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Thank you, Mattman. Again, thank you guys for all of the support. It's absolutely fantastic. I did, John Southwell. They brought an A220 earlier in the day. Left shortly before I got here, unfortunately. There you go, a little 2-for-1 action between American and Air Canada. So it did leave before we got here today, so maybe we'll see that on our weekend shows. So this explains why we didn't have Iceland over here in Gate C24 and put one of their own planes over here. So can move around a lot of equipment here to get this one in here. Air Canada has to wait a minute, wait for them to get this 737 out of the way. Ramona Aviation is celebrating a membership. Thank you so much, Ramona. Ramona, a good friend of ours. If you guys haven't checked her out on all major platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and here, please do so. Ramona's on that Poston Daily train. Oh, no, wait, what is happening? Air Canada said, nope, my gate. Daniel, welcome to economy class. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out and joining us. It's a bit odd. I was expecting Air Canada to come all the way into the alleyway here to C12 like they normally do. But I guess with it being so late in the evening, they got to put a couple other planes over here on C10 and 12. So it does look like American's going to take the gate next to it. Or is American just waiting to turn around? Waiting for another gate on the front side of Terminal 2. Alright, so we are less than an hour away from our MD-11 departure. We've got Breeze and Southwest on their way, along with a Delta here in the next little while. Moxie 745 is going to be our next arrival, and that coming in from Portland. 1 hour and 36 minutes of flight time for that A220-300. So let's see, what is this American gonna do? Looks like they're trying to get some people out here to guide this one in. Colin Dutton gifting 1 Carolina Aviation membership. Thank you, Colin Dutton. So a huge thank you to everyone for gifting those memberships. Looks like they got to shuffle around some more equipment before they can get that 737 in the gate. Breeze is not our next arrival. Looks like this is going to be Plane Sense. Pilatus PC-12 coming in from Lynchburg. 26 minutes of flight time for the PC-12. As American finally finds their way to the gate. Lee Barber, welcome to economy class. Thank you guys so much for joining the memberships. I greatly appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Fantastic support. Daryl's, what's up? So yeah, this PC-12 coming in from Lynchburg. There it is. I'll have to go and check out those posts, Joshua. I know a lot of people have been posting on the Facebook group from the air show. A friend of mine at work went, and he said Saturday was absolutely miserable. Said it was really, really busy. Lots and lots of people there. Me and the wife went on Saturday or Sunday with the rain, so I didn't bother taking the camera or any of the equipment with me, just for fear of it getting wet. And of course, as soon as the Thunderbirds took off, it started raining pretty good. So again, I didn't get any content. I couldn't even get my cell phone to work correctly to get any content. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I had one post that we had a front row seat to the show, which was fantastic. And a reminder, if you guys are just joining us as well, that we do have a runway closure. 23 left is closed. And you just heard Moxie 745 coming in from Portland. 1 hour and 41 minutes of flight time. That's going to turn into about 44 minutes here in a minute. 2 minutes for that arrival. That's going to be followed by Southwest 4261 coming in from Phoenix. Another MAX 8. There's our PC-12. Had a bunch of Maxes today from Southwest. I don't think we've seen anything from Southwest that wasn't a Max so far. Daniel gifting 5 Carolina Aviation memberships. Thank you so much, Daniel. Congratulations to all of you who have gained memberships from all of this gifting tonight. Absolutely fantastic support from you guys. I appreciate all of the support that keeps us going here on the channel. Keeps us all rolling. Hey, so we didn't do the sunset tonight, but give you guys a little bit of color here for a moment. So Mother Nature putting on a little bit of a show tonight. We didn't get the full-on sunset due to the clouds, obviously, tonight. So Moxie from Portland, our next arrival. You'll see Southwest there just behind them. 2 for 1 shot. I believe that's South. Yeah. Then we've got Delta 1518 coming in from Atlanta. They're just south of the airport here. Our last plane of the show, unless it is delayed, will be the MD-11. We also still have the Iceland to go back to Reykjavik in that MAX 9.
South 4261 with you, RNF Zulu 23 right.
Echo over to the other side of the airport.
Thank him only for that update. The UPS MD-11 just 45 minutes away. Molly's saying that they are still set to depart at 9:15 tonight. Let's be nosy and figure out what they're doing over here. What is he doing? Riding around on some little tractor or whatever that thing is. You guys might be able to see it better than I can. Are they maybe they're painting. Is that what that is? Paint sprayer? I feel like that's what that is. That's what it looks like anyway. Looks like they're out there painting some taxiway lines. I'm getting dizzy watching him go around and around though. So they're out there painting the taxiways. Maybe that's what they were doing the other night when we were when they closed the other side. Alright, so our next arrival is Southwest 4261 from Phoenix, Arizona. That A220 is going to go around behind us. It's not going to go up the hill here. I don't believe Southwest is going to go up the hill here either, unless they get woed way down. They'll go down to taxiway Echo at the end. Paid by the hour, yeah. Best place to eat around the airport. So there's a lot of places to eat around the airport. You got places that I don't even know about. I think there's a couple of like Japanese places over there at Briar Creek. Briar Creek has crumble cookie and something else. But they got Longhorn. Is there an Olive Garden over there still? I don't remember. Lots and lots of places to eat over at Briar Creek, and then just south of the airport you got Hooters and Cracker Barrel. Then at the end of the runway you've got Angus Barn. I've never eaten there. Longhorn's one of my favorites though. I haven't eaten at Longhorn in a while, but Longhorn Steakhouse is definitely one of our favorites. I need to get over here and actually explore more of the area. I know there's Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, stuff like that over there toward Briar Creek as well. Your basic stuff. There is a bagel shop that me and Miss Carolina went to last summer. We ended up over at a bagel shop in Briar Creek, and it was really good. We ended up over there for breakfast one weekend morning. Here we go. We got Sun Country on the move in that Tide Pod livery. See, there we go. Chat coming in with some more ideas, so thank you guys. Even I like a good place to eat. Where are you going?
Right turn, or sorry, left turn in, and Echo Alpha with you, southwest.
So Sun Country, I feel like they're going down to, they're going to go to the far taxiway there in the middle. Yep, Captain Carolina, I'm up here hanging out tonight. Got about an hour left in today's show. Not quite an hour, as long as the MD-11 does its thing on time. Yeah, Joshua, I need to make my way back up to Dulles. You guys have heard me say it a couple of times. Every time I try to make my way to Dulles or anywhere, we end up, the last time I tried, I got COVID from some idiot at work who brought COVID to us. So unfortunately, good appetizers. Ah, see, there we go. Bob with a good idea. Go to the Angus barn and go to the bar. Get the dinner menu. That sounds like a good idea. I've always wanted to try the Angus barn, but I heard it's really, really expensive. So Sun Country going to take that long way around. Our next arrival is going to be Delta 1518 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. This one's another 737-9GP. And we've got all of the little ones departing quickly. I'm not even going to try to get them on camera, especially now after dark. A lot of the little ones harder to see. Especially that one that just left right there with one light. It has no other lights on it other than what looks like a landing light. Looks more like an orb than an airplane. Very, very tiny. Looks like a Cessna 172. So there you go. Right there off in the distance is Delta 1518. We'll hang with that one for a little bit. Have I been to Capitol Grill? I have not. I need to go out and eat more at like more of these smaller places that you guys mentioned. The wife and I used to be really big on going to like diners and stuff, diners and dives and stuff like that. We haven't done that in a really long time. Of course, as you guys know, if everybody's going through it, the cost of everything's gone up, so it's made that a little bit more difficult for us to go and do it the way we used to do it. We used to try to go at least once a week on the weekends. What's up?
How's it going?
Doing alright?
Yeah, done with work for the week, so
dang.
Sunday, so
For the week?
oh yeah.
Wish I could be done for the week.
I just finished with that Air Canada, and I'm done.
Did you get the A220 earlier?
We did get the 220.
I saw it on flight radar.
I've been inside it too.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you go up in the cabin and all
Oh
that?
my gosh, yeah. It has full, it's like the gentleman suites where they have the dividers.
Oh. Dang, that's nice. So Delta 1518 down. So, just a reminder, we do have Iceland still, and we're going to wait for that MD-11 departure.
Update with Iceland for you. I have a live update since I'm in the group chat.
Oh, there you go. Figure they'll be ready in a few minutes.
Kimani is the supervisor running the flight tonight, and as of now, we have no bags missing. Everything is accounted for on board, so they should be closing the doors and getting ready to go.
Nice.
142 bags.
That's not too bad. Got another small one leaving here. Again, typically don't try to get them at night because all you see is two little dots.
South American 979 maneuvering for the visual 2-3 right. American 979 right, heading
So Sun Country did make their way down there.
Runway 23 right, American 979.
So let's see, Americans, that's the one that they're hollering at now, 979. That one's coming in from Dallas Fort Worth on a 737. 2 hours and 1 minute of flight time for that one. Got another Breeze Airways coming in from LAX. Moxie 541, again coming in from Los Angeles. That one going to arrive in just 15 minutes. That one flying right over our head here. I didn't have enough tripod to get that if I wanted to. I would have ran out of tripod in a hurry. So I think this will be the first time we've caught Breeze in a while coming in from Los Angeles.
Yeah,
So they've started that flight. That's going to be followed by Southwest 102 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. Another Max. They've sent nothing but Maxes today. That's all I've seen.
That's all I've seen too.
That's all I've seen since I've been here.
Yeah.
Looks like arrivals are going to calm down after that. Got a couple more Southwest off to the west. So American from Dallas Fort Worth is going to be our next arrival. American Airlines at 979. Looks like Sun Country's on the move in that 737. I'll give you that flight information here in just a moment. I'll have to look. So here we go, Sun Country getting out of here. So you're going to be working the WestJet and Vancouver flight for Air Canada?
So, update with that. We did not get the contract for WestJet.
Oh, you didn't?
I believe Donata did.
Oh,
And Vancouver, we got the contract for.
nice. That's going to be on a Max, isn't it? I think that's going to be on the Max 8, right?
And then tomorrow, if anyone's streaming, maybe streaming tomorrow from here, Spirit has a very busy day. We added 5 new flights.
Yeah, I knew about
It's
that.
going to be back-to-back flights. Orlando.
If they make it out of Newark.
Yeah.
Newark's having all those problems.
It's going to be busy tomorrow with Unify. I won't be here though.
Sounds like you got it pretty good. Got the day off tomorrow. Get to miss all of that.
Yeah.
So is that that one going out in the morning, ain't it?
That's Ron, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna stay overnight.
Yeah. So should the CRJ that's coming in.
I was wondering about that. So they are still using the CRJ.
Yep, that one's delayed. They're 9:57. It's coming in.
Oh. I was wondering why that one didn't come on around here to 14 or 12.
Yeah.
Normally that's where they end up. You see the 777, obviously.
Oh yeah, I got some great close-up pictures of that today.
Nice.
I got one of me right in front, like, not me standing there, but like I got a picture of the engine in front of the camera, so it's like it's on the camera. Oh, it's so cool. And the One World livery too. I got a nice, good close-up picture of the One World thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Good quality.
So American touching down, we had Sun Country's departure. Sun Country is headed to Minneapolis. That was a 737-800. Again, we got breeze here in a minute. We've got breeze from Los Angeles. And we're still waiting on that departure of Iceland. So Iceland should be pushing back any time now.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I got to park.
So we're 30 minutes away from the MD-11 departure.
Nice. MD-11?
Yeah, for UPS. Yeah.
I've not seen that ever depart.
Yeah, I hadn't either until I started doing the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leaves at about 9:15, then it comes back at like 5 in the morning or something. It's like, if you just come through here during the day, you'd never think it leaves. It's like a statue. It just lives here. Thank you, Molly, for the update. 173 likes. Again, about 30-ish minutes left in today's show. We're going to stick around for that MD-11 departure. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update. We were at 9:38 today before we started the show. We are now at 4,944. So we're getting closer to 5,000.
Wonderful.
Hopefully here in the next, by the end of May. Of course, the end of May, the entire month of May for me is kind of messed up with the air show. This weekend being Mother's Day weekend. So I don't know if we'll be out here on Mother's Day or not. Probably not. Gonna hang out with Miss Carolina. And then of course my anniversary was last weekend. And then Memorial Day, I won't be out here Memorial Day either, unfortunately. I'm gonna go do some camping.
Same. Head out to Tennessee.
I'd like to go back. Yeah, that would be nice. We're just going up Falls Lake.
Oh, nice.
So it's my little boy's birthday, so he wanted to go camping this year. So I was like, all right, I have to work, unfortunately, but I have to work that Saturday. So Saturday night I'll get there, do Sunday, and then Monday. I took Monday off. Then we got to figure out what we're going to do for 4th of July. 4th of July here is fantastic because you get the fireworks right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, yeah. And then I bet you get them from the fairgrounds over there, too.
You can't see the fairgrounds from here, unfortunately. I tried, yeah. You only get the ones over there at Briar Creek, which was still nice. We saw them. I've seen them twice from over here doing the shows. Miss Carolina says that I'll be here on Mother's Day. Miss Carolina's like, oh no, you're gonna be here. Get away from me. Surprised she's not threatening to send the boys. Although my anniversary gift to her was last Saturday. So she had the entire day. She went and did some shopping and some pampering. She had a wedding thing she went to.
Iceland's taking the time tonight.
Did you go there? Were you off over the weekend?
The weekend, yeah.
Did you go to the air show? No, it was good.
Nice.
We went Sunday.
I went golfing since I live on a golf course. So.
I've never attempted to play golf.
I only picked it up about 3 months ago, and I absolutely love it. I have a natural talent. It's crazy. The coordination.
I definitely don't. I have been to the range a couple of times, and I had. So Jeff, we've been together 12. We've been married, 12 years. We've been together even longer than that, though. So here we go, CRJ. I believe this could be an exec jet as well. Now I can't even tell them apart. This one's not on flight radar. So I believe that is a Delta CRJ. Headed out to New York, more than likely. Yep, there you go. No ident lights on that one. Again, next arrival is Moxie 541, excuse me, coming in from Los Angeles. 4 hours and some change for the A220-300.
Alrighty, well, if they're coming in, I want to get the bus before that. Oh, fireworks off the right. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to leave because I know the bus will be busy when these people get off there. So I'm going to try to get the bus before it gets busy because I already know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
We'll catch you around.
Yep, I'll be here.
I will see you.
I'll be here one day this weekend. I'll figure it out.
There we go. I'll be back Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, see you.
See you, bud. He said there was fireworks off to the right over there. I don't see anything. I'll keep an eye out for fireworks to the right, since we're talking about fireworks a moment ago anyway.
Right. Right foot up. 23 right, circle option. Extended on that.
If you guys saw it, let's see if we can see it here. It looks like our A220 coming in with a different nose here. Looks like they got a little sunscreen on their nose. So that one, again, coming in from LA, that's the first one of the season that we've caught from Los Angeles via Breeze Airways. So our next arrival is going to be Southwest 102, coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. It says it's arriving in 7 minutes, so it'll be a little over an hour of flight time for this MAX 8. And again, we're just a few minutes away from that MD-11. So we got a little time left in the show. That CRJ that we saw depart a moment ago, that was Endeavor 5222. That was a Delta connection. That one's headed to Newark, New Jersey. So that one headed into the Meltdown Airport, from what I understand. I've not followed that situation too closely, but sounds like Newark, New Jersey is having some serious issues up there. I don't know if it's a staffing issue or what's going on with the airport, but I've heard they have a lot of issues. Speaking of the MD-11, it is up on flight radar, our last plane of the show. Again, we're still waiting on Iceland as well. If you guys are wondering about Iceland, they have not pushed back just yet. Alright, John Southwell, have a wonderful evening. Can't believe it. I think we're going to have nobody, there's no E-175s, no CRJs back here going to push back. I think we're going to have an uninterrupted, perfect sounding MD-11 departure here in just a moment. The MD-11 is on the move toward the end of the runway. As you guys can see those beacons out there. There you can see her there to the right of the center of your screen. Now we just need Iceland to push. Hopefully. Again, the MD-11 is departing early. Scheduled departure time 9:15, so I don't know that it's gonna go ahead and leave or if it'll wait for that departure slot there at 9:15. Got another little one departing right here beside us. Looks like our next arrival is going to be NetJets from Miami. 1 hour and 43 minutes of flight time for the Challenger 650. Don't know that we'll actually see that one, so I don't know that we're going to follow it. Still no movement out of Iceland, unfortunately. Come on, Iceland. I think they should have pushed back around 8:40. You can see the MD-11 there. Just right of center of your screen. Watching his tail, waiting. I'd like to know exactly when the 777 is going to depart, but I have a feeling it's going to be closer to 11 p.m. tonight. Thank you, Molly, for the update. 180 likes. Again, we are not too far from getting to 5,000. I'd like to gain 4 more subscribers, but I think we've reached our limit for the evening on new folks joining the show. But if you're not subscribed, please do so. We're on our way to 5,000. A lot for NetJets. All right, here we go. The MD-11. Absolutely the best departure I've ever seen by the MD-11. Absolutely straight up. When he come by me, he was, I swear, vertical, straight up. Fantastic departure for that MD-11. Here we go, Iceland. Going to stick around for the final departure of Iceland here. I guarantee you he was climbing at a rate of about 5,000 feet. Absolutely insane. I really wish he would leave during the day so we could catch that. From Southwest from Nashville, Tennessee. Ooh, 9:21 a.m. Thank you, Molly. Looks like they'll be spending the night here in that 777. So there's that Max coming in from Nashville. And you guys saw it. Iceland has begun its pushback.
Raleigh Tower, clear track 540 on the RNAV. Clear to land 32, clear traffic, departing Durham.
You can hear Iceland starting up from here. Again, Iceland's on the front side of Terminal 2. Nice silhouette of Southwest crossing the bridge. As you see that American 737 over there already put to bed for the evening. Ops doing a runway check. So Jeff, I spend a lot of time watching Nelia during the day when she's on Madeira Woman Spotter. I will also watch our buddy Pip. As far as anybody else really goes, not too much. Every once in a while I watch some of the bigger guys from LA. I don't even actually watch TV, like legit TV, so I do watch a lot of YouTube, Disney live streams, stuff like that. I've got a couple of truck people that I watch, one over in the UK and one here in the United States. Man. But yeah, so Nelia and Pip are my main aviation channels. I was watching Pip yesterday out in Phoenix. I'll watch Stig Aviation every once in a while as well. I do enjoy watching his videos. I have to be in the mood for a lot of things that I watch. I'll watch stuff for months on end as long as I'm in the mood for it. But yeah, so our main I watch some of the UK streams there in Manchester every now and then. Depending on who's on and what's going on over there, I'll watch them in the morning. Alright, come on Iceland. I hear you're started up, you're ready to go. You're going to be our last departure of the night. Don't even think we've got any more arrivals. According to flight radar, we are done for the night as far as arrivals go. The next closest one is Endeavour 5103 coming in from JFK. That one's 13 minutes away. I believe as long as Iceland gets a move on here quickly, that'll be our last arrival, or our last plane, period. Not quite on the move yet. They're getting ready to be, though. I'm usually working when I'm watching Marco and Nelia's show, and if I'm really busy at work, then I'm definitely listening, but I'm not in the chat. Lately we've been really, really busy at work, so it's been a little more difficult. Looks like we got somebody out at the end of the runway ready to go. Iceland finally on the move. Whoever that is right there did a turn and burn. I think it's another Delta Connection CRJ. Absolutely doing a turn and burn. And gonna rotate early. Very nice. Go. The last plane of the night. Yeah, that's about what time I get up. About 5:30. Usually to work about 6:15. I don't have to be to work until 8, but I get there around 6:15, 6:30. The last couple of days I've taken a little extra time, gone in a little bit later. I think it took about an hour. So there we go, Iceland making their way out again. That is the final plane of the night. Jeff Davis. Yeah, it throws, if I don't get there early, it throws my whole morning off, to be honest. I gotta log into the computer and all the softwares and all this other shenanigans that I've got to do, and get my coffee ready and this, that, and the other, and I just, I don't know. It throws me off when I don't get there. Iceland! Iceland gonna make their way back to Reykjavik. Again, if you're just joining us, Iceland out there is our last plane of the show. Do have a Delta CRJ on the way in, but we've seen enough CRJs today. We may see it anyway, depending on what Iceland's gonna do. Looks like Iceland's sitting out at the end of the runway there. Possibly on the move now. There they are. Yeah, for you, Freya, you got a problem. There's no way you'd be at work at 6 o'clock if you went to bed right now. That's why some of these shows I have to cut short depending on how I'm feeling. Because the next day after doing one of these shows, I feel like crap. Usually. So it depends on how I sleep when I get home, but I have some nights after a show where I don't fall asleep till 1 o'clock in the morning. Get up at 5:30. Just a pain. Alright, Icelandair back to Reykjavik. This is 737 at Max 9. Goodbye to Iceland. Alright, we're going to leave you with a little American 737 action over there. Plane sleeping over there on the run overnight. Alright, you guys, give you one last update here on the subscriber count. I don't think we gained any in the last 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes, whatever it was. I gave you that update. We gained one new subscriber, so thank you. We are now 55 away from our goal, our next milestone of 5,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for smashing that subscribe button as well as the like button. Greatly appreciate that. And thank you to each and every one of you who contributed tonight. Greatly appreciate that as well. You guys are fantastic. Thank you guys for spending your Wednesday with us. Channel members, moderators, thank you all, and just thank you to everybody, even those of you chilling in the background watching the show. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you again. Miss Carolina said Sunday. We'll see how that goes. Okay, we'll see how that goes. We should possibly try to be here on a Sunday. That is Mother's Day. I don't know if it'll be a morning stream or if it'll be a our normal afternoon stream. So we shall see you guys later in the week. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you guys later. Good night.